Hello YouTube, Librarian Larry here, back with another video. Today I want to go over some ideas I had for some small updates that can possibly be added into TTR, as well as gather opinions from all you guys. Now before I begin my list of ideas, I want to clarify a few things. One, I will only be talking about smaller updates that can serve as in-between content between major updates. So as much as I would love to talk about field offices or the executive office tower, they aren't making the list. 2, I don't know that much about game development, so some of the items on my list might be impossible to serve as in-between content, or might not be possible to be added into the game at all. So with all that out of the way, let's jump into my list. And finally, I want to clarify that I have no relation with the TTR dev team outside of the partner program, and don't know anything about future content. So any ideas discussed here are just ideas and are not upcoming future content ideas, at least as far as I know. So with all that out of the way, let's jump into my list. First, I want to talk about estates, since they are a bit barren compared to the rest of the game. Ironically, the first two items I plan to include on this list, estate exteriors and the day-night cycle, were added in recently, but I still have a few more ideas to spruce up our homes. The first is a radio item that can change the music in your estate. Estates are the only area of Toontown without music, which makes it feel a bit off to me personally, but adding a radio can fix this. I would imagine it like a jukebox item at parties, allowing us to pick any music we want for our estate. Since our estate is supposed to be our little slice of Toontown, I think it'd be really cool if the radio included every track in the game, even ones we can't listen to anymore like the Crash Cash Bot theme or the Silly Meter theme. This way we can customize the experience in our estate, allowing us to pick our favorite music from the game to jam out to whenever we want to break, and also give us a chance to listen to the tracks used for limited time events, which, let's face it, are too good to only be used once. The next idea I had was another item for estates, the Mannequin. The Mannequin would be a normal furniture item that could be purchased in the catalog, but allows us to put our clothes and accessories on it to customize it. The reason I thought of this is because I have a lot of clothing that I like, but can only wear one outfit at a time, so this way I can display the outfits I am not using. And to add on to this idea, it'd be really awesome if they could somehow add a quick swap option, allowing us to swap the clothes we are wearing with what's on the mannequin. That way it can add a bit of functionality to them, acting as a saved preset for an outfit that we like. This next idea would be a way to improve both the outside of our estates and Doodles as well, and that is Doodle training equipment. Now one thing I love that TTR has been doing is decreasing the grind when it comes to certain aspects of the game, like racing or golfing. But Doodle training is still a pretty long grind in itself. That's why adding Doodle training equipment could double as a cool furniture item and as a way to decrease that grind. The way I picture it, Doodle training equipment would be outdoor furniture that Doodles can practice their tricks on. If they succeed, it will play a unique animation of the Doodle using the equipment, and will receive more skill points than usual. But they'll also get hungry and tired easier as well. Since other Doodle related features such as taking them for a walk or the Cut Doodle Park from TTO would definitely be major projects, I think Doodle training equipment could possibly be a way to add more Doodle related content in the meantime. And finally, before we move on to other parts of the game, there is one last idea I had for estates, although this one is the biggest one yet, and might not be doable as a small update. This idea is adding a trophy room to each estate, similar to the trophy room from UB Funkies. The trophy room would have a shelf displaying physical versions of every trophy you have earned, making it a lot more rewarding to grind out different activities in Toontown, and allowing you to have something cool to show off to your friends. Another possible addition to this room could possibly be a way to show off your cog suits as well. One idea I had was having 4 giant mannequins, similar to the smaller mannequin item I mentioned before, each displaying your current suit level. Okay, so I'm finally done with all my ideas for estates, so now let's move on to the rest of Toontown. Now, I am probably a little biased, but this next idea is personally my favorite on the list, and that is a revamped library, bank, and schoolhouse for Toontown Central. These 3 buildings have such nice designs, but don't really have anything inside them. Flippy's office was once like this as well, until it received a major upgrade. So I think it would be cool if the other buildings received the same. In the new library, I think it would be nice to have all of the TTR lore collected in one place. TTR has been around for years now and has a really great story, but it can be very confusing if you are trying to catch up on everything that has happened so far, especially if you miss limited time events like the Silly Meter maxing. So having the story so far in one location would make it a lot easier for everyone to be on the same page going forward. One way to make the books actually canon is to have the books readable by the general public be fun storybooks about living in Toontown, similar to the books from Club Penguin. But all the lore-related documents will be classified and only accessible to members of the Toon Resistance. Since we'll be helping out the Toon Resistance in field offices, they can possibly tie different documents to your resistance rank, allowing you to unlock more classified information as you prove your worth to the resistance. As for the Schoolhouse, I think this would be a great place to go over basic and advanced gag strategy, by showing examples of what to do in certain situations, and maybe even having tutorial battles against fake cogs. This is actually what the Schoolhouse was originally intended for back in TTO, so it would be cool to see it in action. As for the bank, I will admit I've been having a bit of trouble coming up with a good idea for this one. The only one I can think of is having an additional space to store jelly beans, and possibly gain interest over time. But considering the jelly bean banks in our states can already hold a lot of jelly beans, I'm not sure if this is needed. If you have a better idea for the bank, please let me know in the comments below, because I would love to hear it. Finally, the last idea on this list has to do with COG headquarters. Now this idea is far from original, but it's still something I would love to see, and that's hard mode for the Cellbot factory and all 4 of the COG bosses. Every facility has harder options excluding the factory, so making a variation with harder fights that give more merits would help decrease the grind of suit leveling. As for the hard mode bosses, I think this can be a great endgame content, giving players a chance to fight harder versions of the boss that they have already mastered. This could also be a good place to use rewards we'll be getting from the field offices, and maybe they can even add a laugh point boost behind these new bosses, increasing the maximum laugh to 141 for any completionist out there. So those are all the ideas I have for some updates that we can possibly see coming to TTR. But again, I want to hear yours. Please write any ideas you have for some smaller updates down in the comments below, and I'll be sure to give them all a read. So that's all for now. Please subscribe for some more Toontastic videos coming soon, and I'll see you guys next time.